Howard Webb and the PGMOL again having to backtrack, again having to lie, again having to worm their way out of another terrible decision that has cost teams points, but more importantly, frustrates the living daylights out of us in terms of consistency. Arsenal robbed of an absolute stonewall penalty. Ex-chief referee confirms this to be the case. We're talking about that and the Dalot situation as well, which needs to be discussed, because for me, the more I watch it, the more it's a red card. The FA and the PGMOL have got to change their law about these glancing blows, because we have to protect players. There's no doubt about it. But like, share, and subscribe. Let's jump straight into this. We all saw the handball yesterday in the Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest game. Now, what I want to state from the outset is, on our match reaction show last night, that was 90 minutes long, myself plus every single caller criticized Arsenal's performances, individual players, Arteta substitutions to the nth degree. So in terms of the platforms that I work on, the platforms that I make content on, that has been addressed in abundance. But I'm just someone that does not subscribe to, well, if my team didn't play brilliantly, we shouldn't talk about bad refereeing decisions, because this is not about Arsenal in isolation. This is about looking for consistency. Earlier on this season, Manchester United were denied a penalty for a handball but away at Wolverhampton Wanderers. And the reason why none of you have heard about this is because we won the game 4-1. And of course, attacking Manchester United has been a far more popular use of time for the mainstream media over the past 5 to 6 weeks. But what was announced somewhere near the new year, and it just slipped into a few articles, nobody cared about it, unless, like me, you have a genuine agenda for refereeing to become better, is that they admitted the handball most certainly should have counted. At the time, they said the arm was in a natural position, although it was slightly out to the side. With the way the player was moving, it was in a natural position. Upon review, they saw what we, the footballing public, all saw at the time, and that was that it was a deliberate handball. He deliberately moved himself to it. If you played the game at any level or watched it for as many years as I have, you can tell when a player's body isn't moving right. Similarly, a correct decision they got, handball given against Tarkowski earlier on this season, when he pretended he was trying to get his chest in the way. But you, me, I think Gary Neville's on comms, we all saw that he put his arm there but tried to style it. We're not stupid. We understand it. The same is going to happen with this incident here. Anna clearly, whether he doesn't know it's Elliot Anderson, maybe he thinks it's Gabriel Jesus, we'll never know. But he clearly turns his body and then moves his arm into the ball to knock it out for a corner. Kind of the opposite of what Thierry Henry did against Ireland. He keeps it in play, Henry to set a goal up. Aina is trying to ensure it, trying to make it not go out for a corner, but he's shielding the ball away from somebody else. Now, it's been defended and called arm in a natural position. There is no way. I get an arm being in a natural position if it's down by your side. But you know what? It's not in a natural position if it's by your side, but you lean that way like this to make that part of your body bigger, because that isn't what you naturally do at any point in life, right? Maybe if you're bending over to pick up something from the floor, maybe. I get not giving it if a player slide tackles and they're putting their hand down to break their fall. Equally, the maddest part is one of the most natural places for your arms when you jump or slide tackle is for your arms to go out. You can't do it with them by the side. Yet if the ball hits it, then it's a penalty. These laws are backwards. These laws are stupid. And the fact that they're saying this was a natural position to do this with your arm to hit the ball is crazy to me. Now, Keith Hackett, ex-chief of the refs, has come out and said that the referee made an incorrect handball decision. The player has deliberately moved his hand towards the ball and committed a handling offence. Therefore, a penalty kick should have been awarded. You should regard the shoulder as part of the body, just like the foot. This is not a deflection off the body, but a deliberate play. A penalty should have been awarded. And Keith Hackett is absolutely correct. And I know that there are kind of the standard merchants at Arsenal that will say, I don't care. I only want to focus on the performance. That's fine. You can do. If you want to do that, go and do it. But I think the real football fans can criticize their team's performance or praise their team's performance if they deserve to win, whilst equally criticizing bad refereeing that impacts this game that we love so much. This will be another one they admit they got wrong. They always try and slip these things in on the quiet. They will hope that Arsenal are on a good run, extend their lead at the top, so they can slip it into a few articles, publish it on the back end of the Premier League website, and hopefully everybody ignores it. But we must not ignore the incompetence, because everyone and their granny knows that it was a handball. But the mainstream media is really interesting, because you'll see on the left-hand side here, all of the shouts and articles, 100% a red card, definitely a red card, no doubt about it, Dalot should have been sent off. Now, I don't overly disagree. The more and more I watch Dalot's tackle, the more I feel that it was a red card. I can't get myself away from that. And what's interesting, though, about these two scenarios is the consistency argument. If Dalot gets sent off, I'm not going to complain, barring the inconsistency. When it comes to studs up, hitting the shin or the knee of a player, the PGMOL has consistently pushed the law in this direction, which is if there is force. So if my leg's here and you hit me and you go through me like this, and that's a really bad demonstration. If the weight goes through me, it's a red card. What you've also seen, and Van Dijk is a great example of, against Everton a few seasons ago, his studs are up, he hits the shin of the player. If you do the still frame and the shots here, it looks really, really bad. In fact, I'll try and find that picture whilst we're live streaming, or whilst we're recording this. I've just found the picture now, because when you look at the still shots, and I'm going to find this picture, and in fact, I've got two great pictures of it. So there's this one here. This is a great example. So I should have prepared this beforehand, but it only popped into my head when I was recording. So we're just gonna do it now, and you guys can sit and chill and wait for me to get these graphics up on the screen. But there's a reason why it's really important to explain this to you. It's not defending the law. I think the law should be changed, but it is a different debate. There is a difference in these debates, because you need to. What you need to often do in these circumstances is remember you have to remember what's going on. So let me just get because there's two separate images to show you on this to bring this to life. Okay. So let me just download the first one. Then I'm going to make you the second one here. I just want to put them onto an actual proper document. So it's an actual proper picture, so you guys can see them clearly. Just move. Why is that doing this to me? There we go. There we go. Nearly done, peoples. I'm sorry for the delay, but I don't edit these videos, you see. These are all what I call live recorded, so we don't kind of say things and edit things out and everything else. So there we go. But let me put these up on the screen for you, because it's really important. The glancing element has been around for a while. And the only frustration I have in the Dalot situation is we've all known about this. There is Sabitzer. Go just Google Sabitzer's tackle versus Leicester, and you'll see the skip. I'm sure if I Google it now as well, Sabitzer tackle Leicester. I think it was Leicester. You'll see. Yes, it was. Yeah, you'll see the pictures of Sabitzer's studs hitting the knee of the defender of Leicester. And when you look at the still shots, again, you'll say, that's a red card. Why was no red card given? And it goes as far back as then. That's the first time I remember hearing about it. Maybe it was prior. Maybe the Everton example I'm going to show was actually even earlier, to be honest. I'd have to go and check the dates. But this isn't a new thing for the Manchester derby. Again, let me reiterate for all the silly people listening, I think the law of the game should be changed. But we've seen these examples before. So you've got this one here that I mentioned, Sabitzer hits the knee stroke side of the shin. But when you watch it back, Sabitzer doesn't go through the player. It sort of hits his leg and then comes straight off. It does this. It like touches it, glances it. Does that make sense? There's also the other version of glancing. So when you look at this tackle here from Virgil van Dijk, you can see his studs are hitting the lower third, but they're hitting the shin of the player. They're hitting the shin of Onana. You can all see this. There is no doubt about it. The issue is the still frame doesn't show you the complete story, because what actually happens is he does catch him. but actually he's already pulling out of the tackle. So what ends up happening in real time is that it glances down his shin and lands on his foot. The pressure and the impact predominantly goes through the foot, which makes it a yellow card offence. So this has been going on for a long time in the Premier League, that these glancing, when you clip somebody, the stud clips them, touches them and comes straight off, or slides down to the ankle, red cards invariably haven't been given unless they think it was deliberate. So you'll hear Spurs fans say, hang on a minute, what about Xavi Simons? He's only glanced. That's because it was deemed that he purposefully did it. Does that make sense? Trying to win the ball, missing it and catching a player is different from deliberately raking someone. Again, let me also say this for the silly people. I'm not defending Dalot. I see why it should be a red card. They should change the law. The point I'm making is that all these articles have come out and essentially said 100% red card, 100% red card, no denying it, no denying it, no denying it, even though it goes against many other decisions where they've mentioned the glancing element. And what the media do is they pretend that nobody's heard of the glancing blow part of this conversation. Whether you like it or not, you can't ignore that they've consistently not given red cards for that. They should change the law, but they've done it that way. The handball is the opposite. It's questions. The right-hand side is questions. Should it have been handball? Do you think it's handball? What is your opinion on this? When they've consistently failed to give handballs for these things and then admitted later on they should have done. It's the complete opposite. So it's almost like we're asking for inconsistency when it comes to the handballs, and we're begging for consistency when it comes to challenges. Yet you're getting consistency on the challenges and we want it changed. The handballs is ridiculous and nobody cares about it. Here's what Mikel Arteta's got to say.
Gesturing to the fourth official that you thought that was a handball. That's one you're referring to.
I saw it live, I saw it here, and I saw it now again. And yeah, it is very unnecessary, but he brings the ball in with the hand, so it's a clear penalty.
Has the referee spoken to you? Did the fourth official give any reason? Obviously, people are going to look at this as a missed opportunity for Arsenal to go 9 points clear, but can you actually look back at this potentially as a really good point taken at a tough place to come?
Well, we have to do it, do that, try to learn and improve. And
it is true. So I'm not going to get too much into performance stuff. That's not what we're here speaking about today. It is kind of true that you almost have to look at it that way from a mentality point of view. You can't dwell on bad experiences. You create more anxiety, which will damage you in the future. But Mikel Arteta's right. 100% it was a penalty. Of course, the officials won't speak to them about it. They'll do that via the media in a couple of weeks when they admit it's wrong. At the end of the day, I can understand why City fans feel they were robbed. I would give a red card for those challenges. What we can't do is actually give one when you haven't given the previous ones until you change the interpretation of the law, until you educate the refs to say, even if it's glancing, you've got to give a red card. Then they have to come. Then they have to happen. But when it comes to these handballs, the fact we all saw him move the ball like this, it's almost not even it's almost not even subjective from that point. But look, I want to get your views. I want to get your opinions on this. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. Hit the like button, please. And I'll see you soon. Peace.